The day is June 6, 1942. After 7 months of siege in Sevastopol, the Red Army is about to be confronted by a massive assault by the German 11th Army led by von Manstein. The siege of Sevastopol is the last battle of the 41-42 campaign in the Crimean Peninsula. Today, we will relive this battle by playing von Manstein's Triumph, a game designed by Francisco Ronco with graphical design by Ivan Caceres and published this year by Spanish publisher NAC Wargames. You're watching Homo Ludens, the channel on history and board games. Before we start this video that is going to be a teach and play of von Manstein's Triumph, I would like to thank Not War Games and the kind people of the parent company Maskeoka for providing a review copy for this video today. To join me today for this teach and play, I am happy to have with me Brendan Irvin from the Homo Ludens Discord server to play this game and be my opponent of the day. Hey, Brendan, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. You were about to say good morning and showing the fact that we are not in the same time zone. So it's the afternoon for me, morning for you. But yeah, thanks for being here today. Do you want to briefly introduce yourself to our viewers?
Sure. My name is Brendan. I live on the east coast of Canada, so it's still morning here and beautiful day. And I've been a gamer for a while, although just recently kind of got into the historical games, probably about the last 18 months or so. So yeah, looking really forward to this.
So you're saying East Coast of Canada. I guess that you've had some pretty unfortunate event recently. How are things doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. We actually got our power back pretty early in the process. There's still some streets. I think the one next door still doesn't have, or across the way doesn't have power. But they brought in the armed forces to help and some power crews from parts of New Brunswick and in Maine and that part of the United States, and they're trying to working as best they can to get most people back. But it's been pretty good for us.
I'm happy to hear that everything went well, nothing was too damaged, and that you managed to have your power back soon enough to be here and play war games online. So that's really, really cool. We also have another guest tonight, or I'm saying tonight. I don't know why I'm saying tonight. It's the afternoon for me. It's like probably the video will be published in the evening. But we have Francisco Ronco with us, who's the designer of von Manstein Triumph. Hi, Francisco. Thanks for being here.
Thanks to you for inviting me.
Thanks for taking the time, and it's I'm happy to have you because I think the first time we met and we were talking about this just before starting the recording was during BiotaCon 2020. So I think it was BiotaCon number 4, if I remember correctly.
Yes,
and actually the reason we met was to actually play a demo of von Manstein's Triumph, and I was very impressed with the game back then. Super excited to see it come, and had to wait 2 years, Francisco, 2 years to actually be able to play the game. So first question: what happened? What happened during those 2 years?
Okay, I was willing to publish with my own company the game, but we are a very small company, so we have a very limited production capacity. So I have designed other games, and as soon as the new company NAC War Games arose, I thought it would be nice they could publish some of my products, some of my designs. But designing games is a thing, and another thing is to publish them, because the production process is very, very time consuming, and you have so many parts to join and to fit one in another. So I understand 2 years is too long a time, but producing games is a long trek.
I know, and I was teasing you, and I think it's I wasn't too surprised. It's just that when I played the game, it felt really finalized. But when I heard that you were not self-publishing it, but going with NAC War Games, I was expecting it to take a bit longer. And I must say, the production quality is really amazing.
Really,
I think
really
it's really great. So maybe it was worth it to wait a bit of time. I don't know.
And in the meantime, I have been developing another games. So with Bellica Third Generation, we are going to publish an impossible war about the Carlist Wars in Spain during this 19th century.
Yeah, I've heard about this, and actually, I would like to be able to feature some games from your own publishing company, Bellica Third Generation, because you also have this operational system
Yeah.
That, yes, exactly, that I find really interesting, and I have a friend of mine that is really obsessed with it, Brian Esclevansen, that he really really likes the system. So just for him, I would like to feature it on the show. So I hope that it's not the first and last time that we see you here, Francisco, and that it's the beginning of a long relationship.
I
That
hope.
would be great. But maybe to talk a bit about the game, the first thing that I wanted to discuss is the origin of the game. For people who don't know, this game, Von Menstein's Triumph, is based on another game, at least the
Yeah.
system, on another game called Santa Cruz 1797 by Ivan Caceres.
Yeah.
Ivan Caceres that is doing the graphical design of your game. So Ivan Caceres is also involved in this game. And I was wondering, when you play Santa Cruz, very different era, very different scale. What made you think that it could be a good fit for a game on Sevastopol?
Yes, I think that Santa Cruz 1797 is a very good game and a nice system. So it can't be restricted to that only game because it depicts a very desperate battle. A battle where the British landed on a small, very less prepared troops, Spanish troops on Santa Cruz de Tenerife, and I thought it could be translated to other eras, to other battles, to other situations. And as you has told, we find in von Manstein's Triumph a very different scenario with rules that depicts the differences, but the same is possible, a desperate battle. The Soviets have to hold to their fortress and have to trade men and time for space, not to lose the battle. And the Germans have a very powerful force, but they face a very daunting task, as Sevastopol was a very strong fortress. So I think Sevastopol, I have designed another game for NAC Games that is in pre-order right now. That is called Madrid 36, the assault on the university city, university campus, on the Spanish Civil War during 1936, and there are some more in the wake. Some desperate battles. I call them the family called desperate battles.
Ah, that's really interesting. So you actually really developed that idea, and what links the using the system is the fact that it's based
Yeah,
on battles that are desperate. I think it's really interesting, and it's interesting that you say that because after playing Santa Cruz 1797, one of the ideas that I had after playing this game, I was really impressed with it, and I think that Ivan did a really great job at coming up with this small system. Was I was thinking it could be actually really great to represent the last week of confrontation during the Paris Commune, so the bloody week
mm,
between Versailles and the Commune, because it
yeah,
is a desperate battle. There is no way to win, and maybe the only thing that you can do is maybe uh, put up a defense as the commune that is strong enough that you might block the momentum from Versailles and maybe
make the
force a
government
negotiation.
pay for their victory.
Yes, exactly. And I thought when I played it, I was like, "Oh, that would be great." And it's really interesting for me to hear that this desperate battle idea is at the core of a potential future series. So really eager to see what's gonna come next in it. But anyway, going back to this game specifically, so as we said, Ivan Caceres did this first game. He also did the graphical design for this new game. And my question was, in terms of design, what was the kind of working relationship that you had with Ivan? Because he was at the origin of the system, did he also took part in a way in the design itself, or did you really segmented graphics on one side, game design on the other? Or how did it go?
Well, I really discovered Ivan. Ivan announced his own game, Santa Cruz, on a website called La BSK, the British Society of Knowledge in Spain. And I found the design, the designer, the photos, and I contacted him. So we worked together designing and producing, developing Santa Cruz 1797. But while this first game was developed jointly, I designed by myself the von Manstein Triumph. In the wake, I told before, I think it was a very nice desperate battle. And then I asked Ivan for the graphic design. He didn't take his hands on the game till Bellota 2019.
Okay. Good, but that's great to hear because maybe it wasn't clear for the viewers, but Santa Cruz 1797 was published by you,
Yeah.
so that's the maybe the key element that I wasn't clear about when we started talking about it. But I think that that's great. I might have other questions about the game while we play, but I think it could be nice to jump in. And what I'll do is bring the game on video right now. And for the viewers who are watching and wondering how we're playing a board game in digital formats with two players across the ocean, well, the way we do this is by using a free software, an open software called Vassal. And Vassal is just the shell, and then in Vassal you can use mods, and mods are the games. And Francisco provided us with the mod for Van Manstein Triumph, and that means that both Brendan and I are interacting with a game. It's not it's there is no AI or anything. It's really purely the components, and we're able to move things around, so we can play almost as if we were playing a physical copy, just virtually. So thanks, actually, Francisco, for giving us access to this module. And maybe first question for the viewers: when will the module be openly available on Vassal? Do you know this yet?
No, I don't really know. The publisher has not told me when the Vassal module will be available.
Okay, but we can hope for the best. But we know that at least it's on its way because we are going to play with it today. Um, maybe so. The way I like to do the teach and plays here is maybe not to overwhelm the viewers with all of the rules straight away. And both Brendan and I have read the rules ahead of time. It will still be our first game, but I think a good way to get into the game might be to have you, Francisco, first maybe giving us an overview of what both players are trying to achieve, what's going to be the sequence of play, what are the different things that we're going to be able to do in this game, and then go always a bit more into details as we were playing those
Yeah,
first couple of rounds, if that sounds okay with you.
yeah. I think it's a good way of explaining the game and introducing the audience. So we have here a block card-driven game. This is the core system. We have pieces that are blocks, and then in the future we will see another pieces that are cardboard counters. Those blocks are usually brigades or regiments, and they are brigaded into divisions. Some of them don't have a color corresponding to a division. If you can make a zoom, we could see some divisions. As
Yes.
you are the Soviet, we
And
could
that's
see.
maybe for the people watching us. So I can only see my blocks, so the Soviet blocks, the red
Yeah,
blocks, because if we were playing physically, the blocks from Brendan would be, I would be seeing the opposite side, so I cannot see them. But I guess Brendan, if you want to reveal some of the blocks also in the north of the map, so people can see that those blocks are not just neutral blocks, but they are actually hiding what they really are. So as you can see now, that's perfect. I'm going to zoom in here. We have German and Soviet blocks, and you were saying that the color is the division, right?
yeah. Each group of blocks have the same color, so they are from the same division. And if a block is on white, no color, it is an independent block. So it can be activated as the 79 Marine Brigade from the Soviet side. It can be activated with any division he's stuck in. So we can move our blocks and maneuver, attack, occupy space. Those are the main pieces in the game. Uh, Fred, do you want to show some counters, or we left
Yes,
it? Or okay,
I can show some counters and I can show
that
some
from
cards. So
Pioneer.
I'm going to bring some counters on the map. First of all, I'm going to show, maybe going to prepare some cards here that we can show later.
Yeah. Then we will talk about the cards.
Yes, let's talk about the cards first, and then figure out the counters after. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this is a block card driven game. So everything you do is done, sorry, by playing cards. So you have to play cards to move your blocks. You have to play cards to attack the enemy. You have to play cards to produce events that helps you or hinders the enemy. In the screen, we have three of the four classes of cards. If you could show one green card. Fred?
Yeah. Yes, I found
Okay,
one.
artillery,
Perfect.
Soviet artillery, the red god of war. Okay, so we have four colors identifying four classes of cards. The first one is the green, is the most various because they are very different cards: bombardments, rapid movements, um, naval guns, because the Soviets have huge naval turrets for defending the harbor, and they could orient the naval guns towards inland and make use very good use of them in bombarding the Germans. Sorry. When you play one green card, you just apply the effect. Cards, for the audience, it has to know, cards have no text. So the games includes player aid, where every symbol, every okay, yes, every picture is told. You set, you use the card, and you apply what the player aid or the rules said about that given image. So the green are the orders cards, is the name of that class of cards. This is a very meaningful class of cards because there are several different effects, many different. Then we have the combat cards, the yellow label cards as the minefields in on the screen. So we have to know that these cards are only played during combat. You are not going to play as part of your movement or instead of moving. No, no, no. When you provoke a combat, both players. That's one of the um, characteristics of these systems. It is a very interactive system where there is no spare time for players. When you are on your action phase, the adversary can act in your action phase. The first in first place by playing combat cards during combat. So defenders and attackers can play those cards to achieve some goals or to add some effects to their blocks in the combat. The third class of cards are the reactive cards. Those purple blue cards labels that allow for actions out of your phase, normal phase of your action phase. So, for example, the Soviet fighters card, the one on the screen, when the Axis player plays an airstrike card, the Soviet player can play from his hand that card to cancel the airstrike. Even given the Axis player has his own fighters in his hand, he could send the Axis fighter to cancel the Soviet fighters, maybe. Even that other cards in the screen that has the reaction label is called counterattack card, and these are very important cards because it has two labels. The fourth label, the assault class of cards, is the card allows you to move and attack, and that given card counterattack allows you to move and attack during the enemy action phase. When your adversary resolves a combat, you temporarily stop the adversary action phase, play your counteract card, and then you have one activation in the middle of the enemy turn, of the enemy action phase. So you can play these cards to act, move, fight during the enemy action phase. When you play a card like this with two labels, you have to choose which label you are going to use. If you play the card during your own active phase, it's just an assault card, a normal assault card, like the other at the right of this one. And if you play it as a reaction card, you use it during the enemy action phase. Those are the basic four types of cards,
Mm.
and they are very easy to use and very easy to grasp.
And every action that we're going to take on the board is going to be by playing a card. So we're going to
Yeah,
play cards and take actions.
yeah,
And the only thing that is important is that normally it's one player goes first, the Axis is going to play his turn, and then the Soviets. but there are those purple cards that help you actually break that sequence of play so you can react during your
Yeah.
opponent's turns. Great.
Like other card driving games, you don't play just one card. When
Yeah.
it's your action phase, you can play your whole hand, but the adversary can intervene by playing reactive cards and combat cards, of course.
So those were the cards, and now I'm going to show some of the counters. So what counters would you like me to show?
Tanks, some of them.
So we have a T26 here. We have a Panzer III here. We
Bunker,
could show
show
a
a bunker.
Yeah, I think a bunker could be nice. A bunker here. Ah, that's nice. I'm going to show this one. Good. Yeah. Great. And maybe an anti-tank also for flavor. Great. We have a good selection
Yes.
of different counters.
These are the other types of counters you have. The other type of
Assets.
pieces you are going to use. These are assets, and these are divided in two categories. The Germans only have moving assets, okay, but the Soviets have two kind: moving tanks and pioneer combat engineers, and anti-tanks and bunkers, as is shown on the screen, are fixed assets. So by playing some combat cards, you add to that combat a bunker counter, an anti-tank counter, a minefield counter, and if the Soviet win the combat, they remain, and they remain in the area where they are placed. So we could say the Axis troops have identified the defenses of a given area. So they are placed there, and they will take place. Any combat that will take place in that area will be affected by their presence. And for both sides, combat engineers and tanks and armor assets will be counters that you place on map by playing assault cards.
Mm.
The red labels cards, assault cards, allows you two things: to move and attack, and also, before moving any block, placing on map one armor, one engineer asset. So you can add them to the blocks you are going to move immediately, or you can place them in another place of the map board and then move other blocks as you please. But you introduce those assets by playing assault cards. And as soon as you place them on map, they will remain on map, accompanying the blocks where they stack in. So they add their effects to each combat these blocks are involved.
Great.
Later, we will talk about how you can recover those assets.
Mm.
But later.
Okay, I'm going to remove them from the board for now. And maybe go back to a wider view. Oops. I'm going to...
We can talk about the terrain. The first thing that we have to know is that most of the map board is owned by the Soviets because it's the fortress, the inside of the fortress. The front lines are depicted with some red
barbed
trenches.
wire. Yeah, trenches, barbed wire. Yeah.
They reflect the permanent and the reinforced fieldworks that the Soviets made to resist the siege, and also the siege lines, the Axis siege lines.
Mm.
The siege lines for the Axis are gray, and the fortifications for the Soviets are red. When blocks defense on their own trenches, they had advantages, and it's very important to know this. When the Soviets lose control of fortification areas, they lose the fortification effect for all.
Even if they come back afterwards.
Yes,
Yeah.
even if they take them back, because this reflects the loss of pre-registered field of fire, weapons placements, coordinated defenses,
Yeah.
not only the physical trenches or bunkers. Then we have another kind of defenses for the Soviet that are the coastal batteries. The huge coastal batteries are 4 on the map board, and they have to be destroyed in order to take control of the area. Because one concept that introduced this game, opposed to Santa Cruz, is the control of the area. In Santa Cruz, you just put blocks on areas, and where do you have a block, this area is yours. But in von Manstein's Triumph, we assume that given the size of the blocks, regiments, brigades, you can also have lesser units below the level of resolution of the game that allows you to patrol, control the space open between the main units.
Mm.
So you have to control areas to be able to retreat during combat, and also to take control of the victory points areas that are the objective of the game. The victory points are the red banners. You can see on the map several red banners with numbers 1 or 2, and they are a total of 12 victory points on map. We could see they can be a tie, of course. I have seen only in a lot of plays during several years only a tie, but it's possible. It's possible because if you have 12 victory points in the account, each side could end the game with 6. Initially, the Soviets own the 12 points, and the Axis have to control the area. So where there is a red banner with a coastal battery, you have to blow up the coastal battery to take control of the victory points,
Mm.
like Sevastopol, or where the green division is on the upper side of the map of the bay. There. Okay. Then we see some more terrain features that are rivers, blue thin lines, 2 of them. Rough terrain, that is the greenish
Yeah.
areas, and also the built-up areas, the urban areas, the red ones. The 3 for the Sevastopol proper, and in the southern side, below the screen, Balaclava, the small village of Balaclava. Those terrain features add some modifications to combat. Usually, the river and the road terrain uh, subtract 1 die from the attacker dice roll, and the combat in urban areas provoke more casualties to both sides or to one side. It will
Mm.
be this. And I think the last one is the ferries crossing arrows. As Sevastopol is divided by a ria, fjord. How is this said in English? I don't know. In Spanish, it's ria.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm not sure. Yeah.
It
okay,
might be like a harbor.
harbor. Yes, but it's not properly a harbor. It's more profound. It's more deep
Oh.
than a
Yeah.
harbor. So it's very narrow, so it can be crossed with relatively easy on craft boats. And the Germans did it and assault the southern shore. Both sides can move through those crossing arrows, but only the Germans could assault through them.
Okay.
Of course, without using tanks. There are no amphibious tanks here.
Makes sense.
I think the last one is the cross anchors that allow the Soviet reinforcements to arrive. 3 on that coast and 1 in Balaclava, because Balaclava was also a small port for Soviet submarines and small craft to disembark troops and supplies.
Oh,
When
yeah,
the
there's another one
Soviet
here.
reinforcements arrive in one of these areas. German reinforcements will arrive on the German side of the board. Those greenish, deep greenish areas. Those reinforcements can be put into play by the German player by penalizing himself, by spending victory points.
Yeah, because we can
So
see that the victory point track for the
could be
Germans can go negative.
yeah, of course. That usually makes for a tie very unlikely, but maybe.
Mm.
I think it's all.
Yeah, good. But I think we have an overview of we're playing cards. We have assets. We have an overview of the terrain. So how does it start? I think that if I remember correctly, round one is not a straight round, but normally what we have is that the Germans have 8 cards, the Soviet had 6 cards, You have the full German phase where they're playing at all the cards they wish to play. I might play some reaction cards. Then we redraw up to our hand limit. Then I go, and that would be the end of a round. But if I remember correctly, for the setup, there is something that happens at the beginning of the first round.
Yeah. We have to reflect the initial bombardment that Manstein ordered. So both players draw their hands, the Soviet 6, the German 8, and then the Axis player can discard any card that is not airstrike, heavy artillery, or super heavy artillery. Once
And
he has this card, he redraw, and then can play each one airstrike, heavy artillery, and super heavy artillery he has draw.
And we're gonna do a quick pause because I want to be able to show my hand or so. So I'm just gonna stop sharing my screen
Okay.
and share not the window, but share the full screen. So I would be able to show some stuff because I'm realizing that the battle board would be missing if I'm just sharing the main window. We won't be able to see the battle board. So I will change, and now I will share this instead. Perfect.
Yeah.
Good. Sorry about this. So Brendan, you should have 8 cards in hand, and just to show to our viewers, so I have my hand of 6. This is what my hand looks like in Vassals. I have my deck on the left. I have activation sheets for my divisions that I will be able to put on the board to indicate that I activated those divisions during my turn. And you can see my 6 cards. And of course, Brendan is not looking at my cards. It's going to be a total surprise for him. It's a secret. He's not allowed to watch. But I have a few assets in hand. But first, I'm gonna have to go through the first bombardment from Brendan.
Yes, Brandon. You can discard any card that is not a green card, airstrike, heavy artillery, super heavy artillery.
So, not to spoil anything, but if I only have, say, one of those, I could discard the other 7 and redraw.
And draw again 7 more.
That's bad. I would have preferred to hear that after the redraw. That you only have one now. That would be perfect.
Those cards you have already discarded are not gone. They are going to be redraw again on the deck into the deck before play begins.
Okay, so I've redrawn, and excuse me, and now I get to play those.
Yes, you
So
now can play any green card that is an airstrike or super heavy artillery or heavy artillery.
Do I play them all at once?
Essentially, you play one, okay?
Okay.
Can you reveal it?
Oh, sorry. Yes, we need to do that.
And
There you
shoot
go.
Yes.
one area. Remember that air strikes or artillery strikes that attacks Soviet intact fortifications only hit on 6s. But
Okay.
if you attack out of Soviet fortifications, they hit on 5 and 6s.
So something inland would be more effective than in an entrenched area.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I attacked here,
Now you roll 3 dice.
okay.
So yes, 2-1-1. If I remember well, rolling low in this game is really bad, right?
Yeah, really bad. Really, really bad.
So now
Good.
this card gets discarded.
So wait a minute. Keep it here for now. Maybe I
Okay.
just want to specify what numbers was Brendan trying to roll? 5s and 6s in that case to put some hits on my blocks, right?
Yeah.
Good. But then what I would do before you discard it, I would probably play a reaction card. I'm allowed to play a reaction card now during that bombardment?
Only could play fighter cards.
Exactly. And that's exactly the card that I have. And I'm allowed to play it now. Good. But then I'm going to play this card, so the fighter card, that I
Yes.
think destroys this card, right?
No, destroy this card.
This card's. Oh, okay. So
The only cards that are destroyed are your fighters when the Axis fighters appear.
okay, so doing it now wouldn't be useful, right?
Yes. In the case Brandon would achieve some hits, they would be nullified.
Okay, I could have nullified, so I can keep it for now and use it in the future, I guess.
Roll the dice
Okay, good.
when your fighters appears.
So you can discard this, Brendan.
Okay.
No.
Now, if I have another one, I can play it now. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
One.
and you need to reveal it. Oh, okay.
The Dora, super heavy artillery. So you can choose one area where there is a Soviet naval battery, and you roll dice, only hitting on sixes. The first six destroy the naval battery, and if you roll more sixes, you apply those hits to the Soviet infantry, if any.
Okay. So I guess I'm going to attack here.
Mm,
Okay. Roll three
Yeah.
dice.
3 dice.
yeah. So that's one hit.
Okay, so the
Another.
battery is destroyed. You have achieved more than the real Germans right now.
History has changed.
So I guess there is, yeah. So I think there is a counter here to indicate this. That's called no RT, if I remember well. Yeah, here it is.
Okay, destroy. This area cannot be used to bombard you through naval batteries, and it will be easy to conquer, to control, as the naval battery has been destroyed. Now you have more cards to play,
I'm just checking. No, I don't.
so it has been a light bombardment.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, it's nice that the Germans, they wanted to have the full experience. They didn't want to bombard too much. They wanted the Soviet to feel fresh, be ready for them, have a good time, exchange. So that's interesting.
Fair play.
Yes, that's very fair play. I appreciate that, Brendan. I think it's really nice. So
Okay, so reshuffle back into the deck all the discarded cards, and then you refill your hand. The Soviet, no. The Soviet remain with five only.
6.
Five.
Oh
You used one.
Oh,
no,
but
he saved.
I saved it. I saved it.
You saved it.
Yeah.
You use the fighters. So
Okay. So,
now you have five. You will refill at the end of the Axis action phase.
okay, because just maybe to specify, so what happens to the fighter? What would have they? So it would have nullified the Brendan's role, right?
When you play the fighter go to the discard pile.
Okay, but I mean, I would only have played them if Brendan had rolls 5 or 6s, right? Or
No. You play as soon as he plays the
okay, yeah, okay, great. So then yeah, I would have played it anyway. So
So
I will yeah.
he never gets to rolls the dice.
So do I send it to eliminated or do I send it back to the deck? Send to discard. Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Eliminated when the Axis fighter squadrons appear.
Yeah, perfect. Good. So now I have 5, and he's back to 8.
8.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Random is your action phase, so you can play cards.
Okay.
Please.
Lots of choice.
Yes.
I hope that all the choices are bad choices. That's what I.
Well, I think we'll start with something simple.
Yes.
So attacking in the south, good. So we're playing an assault card that could also have been used as a reaction card, but in that case, you're playing it as an assault, and you're assaulting Balaclava.
So, Brandon, you have to designate which division are you going to activate. You can choose between activating one division plus any non-organical, the white blocks, or activate all the blocks in just one area. The stacking limits are 3 blocks per area.
Right. I think it'll just be in this area.
Okay.
Okay, the Jaggers.
Mhm.
Usually, we place the divisional ensign over the cards, so you know who you are moving and your adversary also. It is
Okay.
hand.
To be the 28th division, I think.
Your on the window where you have your hand, you
Is
have
it
the characters for the
this
division.
one?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So now I can move them. I believe, yes.
As soon as you enter a Soviet occupied area, you resolve the combat.
Okay. So let's move them right in.
And
Before
just to
you can place also one armor and one engineer on map right now.
Well, that sounds extremely helpful.
Yeah.
I think it should be
Yeah.
pretty helpful.
So,
And there is maybe one thing that we didn't talk about, Francisco, is the movement. Most of the blocks can only move one,
One.
but some blocks can move two, and they would have an indication on the top right, I think. I think I have one here to show.
Yeah.
So yeah, for example, this one, you can see there is an arrow and a 2 on the top right, and that means that this one can move 2, but most of them can only move 1. Great, and you put a Panzer III asset here.
The best. You can also place a pioneer if you want. It is helpful for the Soviet minefields.
now do I reveal those blocks, right?
Yeah.
I think, Brendan, it was your first mistake. That was
Sorry, you don't need to reveal till you play the combat cards. Okay.
yes.
Oh,
Proper
okay.
check is you enter. Then, are we going to use the battle board, Fred?
Yeah, we're going to use the battle board because I changed the setup so we can use it.
Click the blocks and send them to the battle board.
And I'm going to bring the battle board here so we can follow the fight itself that is happening here in Baklava. And we're going to fill the things on the battle board. So we have the attacker that is going to place their blocks here.
Mm-hmm.
We have reminders of the terrains here.
And the physical game has some reminder cards with the effects, terrain, with the count of dice for the combat. They are very helpful.
So I send my block to the defense battle board, and you can see that there are only 3 spots for defense because there can only be 3 blocks within one area.
Yes.
Good.
So, Brandon, you first, face down, can play any number of combat cards you want.
Oh, any number. Ooh.
Number.
Well then.
The exception to this rule is that your artillery support cards for combat are limited to just one card if if the combat includes some Romanians. Any Romanian blocks, the Romanians have very few artillery pieces compared to Germans in this battle. So the Romanians only can use one artillery support card. The Germans, any one.
So there's one. Maybe we'll put 2 because there 2 cards.
Okay. And then Fred, if you want, face down.
And actually, I think I will place this because you bring some panzers and I want to hurt them. So I'm going to send this one to the battle board, and I think I want to make you pay. How many did you send there?
2 blocks.
2.
No, 2 blocks and
2 cards.
and you put 2 cards. I think this would be enough. Good.
Okay, so reveal blocks and cards.
So I unmask this and unmask this.
I think I already did mine. You can see mine.
Yeah, I can see yours, and now I'm missing the cards.
The cards.
Whew.
Artillery cards. 6
Oh,
dice.
that's plus 6 dice. Okay, and so my card is placing mines and anti-tank defense to the battle.
So you place the anti-tank and the minefield, but Brandon's and Pioneer can be used to retire the minefields. If Brandon used the Pioneer can have some casualties.
So I'm gonna bring in the anti-tank here, and I'm going to bring in the minefield. Where are you, little minefield? Here you are.
Brandon, do you want the Pioneer to remove the minefield?
I think so.
Yeah, it's a good choice because the minefield inflict a direct hit. So if you left the minefield on the battlefield, you will suffer losses anyway. So it's not a good choice to leave them. Okay, Fred, remove the minefield.
Yeah.
And then roll 1 die, 5 or 6. Pioneer.
One hit to the Pioneer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna roll 1 dice, and I rolled a 4, so it's a big failure.
Not enough to be reflected on the game.
No, very sad.
Then Fred have an anti-tank position, so he rolls a die, and with a 506, the armor, the German Panzer III, will lose one step.
Oh, and it's only one die. Okay,
One die, one die.
sad. I thought it was two because there were two die on the counter.
Oh,
Oh, oh.
no
Excellent
problem.
roll.
These were very, very bad serves.
Yeah, very sad.
Okay,
Good. So
now we
man
are going
didn't do
to resolve
anything.
the combat. To resolve the combat, we must sum up the number of dice each side will roll. So go for the defender, the Soviets. The Soviets usually roll one die per block, but this is a special block. The
Mm.
NKUFD roll two dice.
And we can
So
see that with the dice on
yes,
the top right. So
it
that's an
is
indication
printed
that yeah.
on the label. So Fred will roll two dice, and as we are fighting on an intact Soviet entrenchment, you will add +1 to one die after rolling.
Okay.
Okay, and Brandon will roll one for each block, two, plus as Fred has only 4 strength points and Brendan have 8, another one for numerical superiority.
Hmm.
So 3 dice for troops plus 6 for 2 cards of artillery. So he will roll initially 6 plus 3, 9
Hmm.
dice. But as he's attacking on a rough terrain area, he loses 1 die. So we'll roll 8 dice. And as he has the support of the armor, that have a dice +1 printed on them, he will do the same as Fred. Once he rolls the dice, he will add +1 to one die.
Good.
2 dice +1 against 8 dice +1.
So, that doesn't sound fair. This game is broken.
Tell the designer.
Okay, so I roll a 1 and a 4, and I'm gonna add +1 obviously to the 4 to make it a 5.
A 5 is a hit, okay? Here in close
Oh
combat,
man.
always 5 is a hit. Wow.
That's really bad.
4.
Oh,
Wow.
putain.
Somebody was hurt. But now we have to roll again. One more die. Why? Because you are fighting on urban terrain. So at the end of the combat resolution and before applying the hits, you both have to roll one die, and the side with pioneer in the combat adds +1 to his die, and the one with the lesser result, with the lower result, suffer another casualty.
Okay.
In case of ties, both sides have a casualty.
For me, it doesn't change anything. So I'm up to my
Problem
limit of casualty. So
is for Germans.
so I rolled a 4 and you rolled a 6. Okay, so that's
Okay.
that's that.
So the final result is Brendan has to absorb one hit, and Fred 5. Sorry, 5
Uh,
kills the block
oh,
completely.
God, suck. Actually, 6 because I rolled less for the. So I would have to absorb 6, and I can only absorb 4. So
Wow, to the
so we're
kill.
gonna say that this guy is dead.
This guy is dead. Yes.
So send to the death pile.
And then Brendan would have to absorb one hit. But as you have an armor asset, the armor asset in the lower right corner is marked with a -1. This is -1 hit you suffer. So you suffer one hit, -1, no casualties. You won without casualties.
Oh my god.
It's a good start.
Yeah, it's a
Good.
really good start.
Put balaclava and the German control and place a destroyed trenches marker.
Oh, and my VP already decreased by 1 and yours by 1, so we are all
It's
good.
automatically done
Yeah.
on the basal module when you change the banner from colors.
Ugh, that's really bad.
Yes, it's a good nice start.
And then those pioneers and the armor stay with that unit.
Yes,
Yes.
they remain there and they move with the blocks. You cannot leave them alone.
Okay.
You can have them with at least one block, and the rule of thumb is you cannot have more than one of the same type, armor engineer, in the same area. You cannot have two armors in the same area. You cannot have two pioneer in the same areas at any time. Not during retreat, not during movement, no, at any time. Now, Fred could be the guy to play a counter-attack card to react. You have the choice. You have the opportunity.
Yeah, you know what? I'll wait, Francisco. I'll wait. I
Uh,
took I took a pretty big punch in the stomach, so I'm gonna think about my life decisions for this and see what Brendan comes up with next.
Okay, Brandon.
So
You can
this card gets
continue to
discarded now.
Yeah.
discard because he has finished.
Okay.
And I guess those blocks now become exhausted, right?
No.
No, not
They
yet.
became exhausted if they suffer hits on results of
Oh,
things on your
so
part.
he could keep on moving with those until
Yes,
they take a hit.
he
Okay.
could he could play more assault or movement cards to those
Mm.
blocks. You are not restricted, and the number of activations a given block or given division can have during the same turn.
Okay.
Brendan, I think you have to. I don't remember the name. The blocks are seen. Your blocks on
Yeah,
Balaclava
you need to
Oh,
mask them again. Yeah.
Yep.
mask them. Okay, that's the word.
There we go.
Yes.
Well,
So you played 3 cards.
I did,
Yeah, you still have 5. Doesn't sound good.
and I think we're going to do this with, I believe,
72 division. Okay.
As you activate the division, you now can combine the 3 blocks of the division into an attack. I think you are going to do it. You know?
yes.
Yes. So when you move in this game, when you move into an enemy occupied area, you automatically have to resolve combat, except in this case that you are making a coordinate attack by one full division. So you can move blocks and resolve the combat as soon as you wish. Remember, you can place armor and pioneer before moving,
Oh, yes.
and you have seen is very useful.
It is very useful. We may as well carry on with another Panzer III.
No, Johann Schützen. You only have one Panther 3.
Oh, it's only one?
Yes, only one.
Oh, bother.
See in your hand. Okay. Where are they?
Actually, in the hand, you don't have the limitations of the. So you pick the counters from. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
because that's maybe one thing that is important to note is that in the physical game, your assets are limited, and that's
Yes.
Yeah.
also an important element of Santa Cruz. Is
3
that
Panther Schützen and 1 Panther 3.
yeah? And how many
three,
pioneers?
3 pioneer.
Okay, so then bring in
Panther
one of
Schützen.
those then.
Schützen.
Good. That doesn't.
Now go for the battle board.
Yep. So I'm gonna send this to defense.
Brendan, see, you have to deploy your blocks on the battle board separately, because if you fail the attack, they will have to return to their original area
I see.
from where the attack begins. Brendan, feel, I think you have to discard the combat card from the previous.
Oh, I did. Yes, sorry about that.
Yeah, because I cannot have an again +6 dice. That's gonna be too much for me.
Yeah. Okay. Brendan, combat card.
Oh yes,
Face-
one of those. Da- There you are, just one.
Just
Fred.
one, and I'm going to send two.
Uh-oh. Well, that sounds worse.
Nice choice. Okay. Show
Yeah,
your blocks and cards.
I'm unmasking and unmasking.
Okay. Fred have played a bunker card, so Fred plays a bunker and an anti-tank counters.
The bunker here and the anti-tank here. And what happens to the anti-tank that I lost from last time? It doesn't.
It's available to be
It's always
played.
available. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. It's always available. They are never finished. Okay, so the other cards don't place new counters, but add dice to the combat. Let's resolve the anti-tank fire because it's the first one. As they
Yes.
are no minefields, the German pioneers have no task to perform.
So I'm gonna roll first my AT&T,
Yeah.
my anti-tank, and I roll a 5.
5.
Ooh.
You have to flip the Sturmschutz counter.
Nice.
That Sturmschutz suffer another hit, it will be killed.
Oh, sorry.
Eliminate from play, definitely. Okay, you can replenish the casualties. If you don't play cards during a turn, you can replenish, withdraw from play all the counters you have on play or the assets and place them at full strength. And also you would recover the exhausted blocks. Fred talked before about the exhausted blocks, but it has not happened. So
Yet, Francisco. Yet, it's gonna come soon. I feel like some blocks are gonna get exhausted very soon.
Nice. Okay, let's go for the killing. Soviets. The Soviets roll 1 die for the block and 2 more blocks for the 120 millimeters mortars. Okay, 3
3
blocks,
dice for me.
one
Yeah.
to 1 of the dice after rolling. And the Germans have 3 blocks, 3 dice, numerical superiority, 9 strength points against 3, 4. The Sturmschutz give another die, 5, and 3 more for the artillery, 8. But as he is attacking into a rough area, he suffer a penalty, so he has 7 dice to
so
roll.
7
Okay,
for him, 3 for me. Still
3
sounds pretty unfair.
against 7.
So I roll 3 dice. Ah. Okay, so
Well,
I'm
I
gonna
didn't roll very well.
increase one
Okay,
for.
interesting. This is an interesting result because Fred add once to the 4
So it's a 5.
and Brendan don't add anything, so he has obtained only 1 hit. Okay.
And it's blocked by the bunker, right?
Yes, the hit Fred suffer is blocked by the bunker, and the hit that Brendan suffer is blocked by the tanks, by the Starhem shoots.
Yes.
0-0, a draw in combat. If combat ends in a draw, a tie, attacker wins, except if they are attacking into intact enemy fortifications.
And it is very much intact, Brendan. Very
Yeah.
much intact.
Revenge from Balaclava. Balaclava has been avenged. So the German blocks have to withdraw, have to retreat from battle. But as they retreat into their original areas, we have to see that each area is not adjacent to enemy blocks, not intervening in the combat. Because if one area where the blocks have to retreat is adjacent to enemy blocks, the full group has to lose another casualty. Okay.
Oh, so he cannot actually. He couldn't be able to retreat here because then he will. So he has to retreat here.
No, no, no. He has to retreat from where he came.
Oh, so he has no choice. Ah, that's even perfect.
He has no choice. So he
Excellent.
is going to lose one strength points on the northern group, but the southern group is free from enemy killing ground. And you
And
take the bunker and the anti-tank counter on the area.
yeah, that's what I was about to ask. So they stay here.
Yeah, they
Bunker
are
and
ready
anti-
here, and they will fight again next time.
Perfect.
Right. So mine go back
So
to
this
where
time
they
you cannot
were.
play another bunker card because you have already bunkers. Okay,
Yeah,
Fred?
they're already here, ready for you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Brendan, discard your card
I'm just trying to put mine back.
Yeah.
I think
and move your blocks back.
there
Remember,
was
the
two in
north
the southern group, wasn't there?
have to lose one strength point, not one per block. One, just one.
Okay, but I'm just trying. I think there were two down here and one up here, wasn't there? Or was it the other way around?
Yes. The northern block was just one block.
Okay.
And he's the only one taking a step then. Yeah.
Yes, he has to lose one step.
So, and for people who never played with block game, we pivot 90 degrees, and the number of pips is going to indicate us
Yes.
what is the strength of the block. So, if I zoom in, we can see that this one has pivoted to indicate that he went from 3 to 2.
So now the
Brendan,
pioneers and the tanks that I
okay,
have,
you
where did
choose
they go?
where they go. You
Okay.
choose. And mask your blocks.
Yep, with pleasure.
These have been repels.
Hmm.
Now, Fred, you could play one counter-attack card.
I think that playing a counterattack card now would be a bit bold. I don't really have uh, the right setup for that. Or actually, wait a minute. You know what? Just to illustrate, I'm gonna play a counterattack card. I have an idea for a stupid counterattack.
To attack, of course. The name is counter-attack, but you don't have to attack. You just could move. That's all.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna play this card here for a counterattack. So interrupting Brendan's turn. So I'm gonna unmask it so Brendan can see it, and I play it here. And now I actually have two. I'm thinking about two things, and my first thinking is that maybe I should fill in that gap here because I'm a bit worried about it.
Yeah.
Or I could go on the offensive and attack this block with those guys here. And I'm thinking, what's the better defense than attack, right?
Bet skill gaps.
Yes, and see if I can do a gap and force actually Brendan to do something about it. So I'm thinking about that, but that sounds a bit insane. So so what I'm gonna do is be a bit less insane and activate the wait a minute, what's the division? The yellowish division? Where is
One.
it?
Yes.
Yeah, the yellow one. So I'm gonna activate this division. And I'm going so that's gonna be for you to see, Brendan, all of those blocks. This one is actually not from my division. It's not in a division block, so it's a white one, but it has a move of 2. So I'm gonna do 1, 2.
Remember, Fred, if you move, Brandon could play his higher strikes against your blocks. Okay, so move slowly so he can react.
Oh yeah, sorry. So first from here to here.
Well, no, I don't have one of those.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna move here. This one is going to move here. This one is going to move here, and this one is going to. Actually, I might keep it with him here, because then I have a block with him. So if I reactivate that division, I will be able to move it. So it's probably better for me to do that. So I'm gonna send back this to the hand and this to the discard.
Brendan, discard your previous played card, please.
Oh, yes.
Good. So
Okay.
that was my interruption.
Yes. Brendan, resume your action phase.
I think I might stop
Pooh!
because I don't really like what I have left.
Is this all the might of the Wehrmacht, Brendan? This is
For now.
A suggestion. Play one card to fill the gap
Oh, that's here?
because
yeah.
you have
You've got a bit of a gap here, and
Yeah.
I'm definitely want to exploit it. Yeah.
place just one card to move just one block.
Mhm.
So,
So
Cody,
I could do that with this, I believe.
yes.
Yes. You can move any block within 4 areas. You
Okay.
you should. It's the same as assaulting. You can choose an area or a division, and
Okay.
any block you activate can move 4 areas, but they cannot enter combat, and they cannot enter an undestroyed battery, Soviet battery, naval battery.
Okay. So we'll just move
But it's
that.
enough to move someone to fill the gap. Yes,
Okay.
it's best.
Sometimes, Francisco, I would prefer if you said nothing. that would have been better for everyone. But that's the way it is. Anyway, good. So that's the end of your
Okay, so both
segment,
sides
Brendan.
withdraw.
Yep.
So we both drew back to our full hand
Yes.
size.
Full
Okay,
hand
that's
size,
good.
both of you.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. Like there is no incentive to keep on your cards. You wanna have as many like you wanna use them as much as you can, which is pretty cool.
Even it's better to spend more cards because you will be able to deploy more firepower.
Yeah.
Because your bombardment cards will arrive once after another, so you will be able to kill more enemy strength points.
Good. So now it's back to me. Now I can finally do some stuff. And that sounds pretty good. I'm looking at the situation in the north, and I am not too worried. I'm more worried about the situation in the south. I'm going to remove everything that has been moved here. And the first thing that I'm going to do is to play an order card. And I'm going to unmask it. That lets me move either one division or one area up to 4 spaces.
Yes.
And I will actually activate the 345th division, which are those dudes here. So this one's going to do, oops, wait a minute. I selected everything at once.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Brendan, remember if you have aerostrikes.
Oh
you
yeah,
could-
sorry. I'm going to go back and give you the opportunity to. So first move.
I don't.
Okay.
Second move. Third move. Then this one is going to do this, and this one is going to do this. No, wait a minute. Actually, you could do 4 here, 3 here, 2 here. That's actually very nice. So I'm going to return this to my hand. I'm going to send this to this card, and now I'm going to give you the opportunity. Do you want to do a reaction?
No. He
Oh no, it's
can-
only when I do an attack. Yes. Oh yeah. So I don't care what you want to do, Brendan. No.
Yeah. After resolving.
Good. Perfect. Excellent. I don't really know what to do, Francisco.
Yes, the Soviet has to react. You are committing 2 of your reserve divisions to the south. You could send a counter-strike to retake Balaclava, but you have to balance because it could be costly. Your troops are limited. And in the
Yeah.
north, you are very nice in your fortifications. You could move the Green Division to the fortifications to avoid attrition by airstrikes and bombardment, of course.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was thinking about. I don't really like being here. So I was thinking about playing this assault card for a move to activate the 172 division, so the green ones, the green boys here that are a bit exposed. And I'm going to move one here behind the 80 ditch and
Yes.
two here, just there.
As the Soviets, you have to control not to commit in too early, because if you spend your reserves, the Axis will rip a hole in your lines very easily.
Yeah, that's why I'm not taking. I don't want to take too many risks, and then I'm gonna do one last assault card to activate the yellow division here.
Mhm.
That are those people here,
Remember
and
that you can place engineers and armor.
yeah, but I
Even
don't want to. I don't want to
ah,
commit to those assets yet.
yeah.
Yeah. So and for now, what I'm just gonna do is he's gonna move here. He's gonna move here, and is this a good idea? Actually, I might do this and this instead. So now I have a nice line,
Yes.
and I think
Outline is
I'm happy with this. Good, and I'm gonna send this to this card, and that those are gonna be my only actions. So that's gonna be I'm gonna stop here.
okay.
So that's the end of my segment. I will
Yes,
bring
it's the
this
end
back
of
to my
your
hand.
action phase. Draw cards up to 6.
Yep,
Brandon has not used any, so he
it should be
don't
fine.
have, and go to the next turn.
Good. Do we check supplies or anything, or no?
There is no supply at its scale.
No supplies. So we go to how do I increase turn? Oh,
There's a
advanced turn.
button. Yeah.
There is a ah
On the
what
bottom. Oh,
what happened?
what?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna go back. So if I advance turn, all my blocks disappear.
What?
So
Try again. Try again.
yeah,
What? What is this?
I'm not sure, but you have a bug. You have a small bug in your.
Oh,
It's fine. I'll
I,
find it.
can you
I will
can you
actually.
write over
No, I
the turn?
tried and I cannot move it. Or so what I will do is I will probably take an interdiction counter and place
Okay.
it on it.
Whoa, what is this? I have to check this.
Yes, maybe. And I'm on Vassal 3.6.7 if that helps.
Same here.
Good.
Maybe
So
the version.
so that's the so I put the introduction to serve as a turn marker. So now we are in the 10th and 12th of June,
Second turn.
and it's second turn, and I guess we can go through the second turn, and then that will probably end there. But we'll have two full turns to actually see. So I'll let you go, Brendan, and see.
Well,
Impress me.
huh. Uh,
Sorry, Fred. There is a block missing on your at the end of your line.
Where?
Where I say where you won the battle.
Oh yes. Wait a
Look,
minute. Where
what
is
is
he? Oh, but he disappeared earlier. I don't. Ah, wait a minute. I'm gonna check. I think he disappeared when we did the moves because he was there before. Let me check if I can find him in eliminated. Do I have the dead pile here? No, I cannot see it. He disappeared.
disappear? Oof. Okay, no problem because you can take it from counters from
Yeah,
the.
I'm gonna take it directly from the Soviets, and he's part of the 381st.
But this must be problems with the basal version
Yeah, I think so.
because we did this module 2 years ago and basal has undertaken
Yeah,
very
significant changes. I think that's probably for.
I thought he just ran away, but
fear is a very powerful
He's
engine.
not afraid. He has like he saw you guys coming in, like you're, and he laughed, and they had to flee in front of his like anti-tank defense, nice bunkers. So he's really confident.
They are
No concerns here.
they are comfortable. So Brendan, it's your turn.
Well, I will play this one here.
Okay, so going up to the north.
I think we'll give the north a try.
Brendan, just one question I have to say to you.
Hmm.
When you play one card to activate one division that
Hmm.
has any blocks stacked with blocks from other divisions,
Hmm.
you can activate the first division and then play a second uh, assault card to activate the second division simultaneously. So you
Hmm.
make what is called a coordinated attack.
Okay.
Okay,
But they need
I
to share areas.
not the tab is prepared for a coordinated attack.
Okay, but those two divisions need to share attacks to
Yeah.
share areas. If they share areas, you can play two cards, and
Yes.
yeah, but
And
they
you
need
can all 6 or 7 or the blocks, the anywhere blocks are, and move and attacks as you please. You can concentrate 4 of them against one area, then move another one. So it's more flexible to attack in corpse activations.
but I don't think you should do that. I think
And remember, as you add blocks by adding, sorry, as you add dice by adding blocks to battle, it's
Mhm.
better to put 6 blocks in a battle than 4 because you are going to roll 2 more dice. So if you put more blocks, you save in cards, in battle cards, in battle support cards.
Hmm. So, in an area where I have like two different colors, as you said, I can
Yes.
I can play another card to activate both
Both
colors and have
divisions.
them move. Do they both have to be go to the same area, or I have choice as to when they
You
move
have the
and where they
choice.
move?
You have the choice to move them as you please.
Right.
But activate one, place the marker on that card, and then play another card and place the marker on the other card.
Okay. Let's find the marker.
So, but just to be clear, Francisco, can he bring 6 blocks into a single area?
If they reach the area, yes.
Okay, but then he will have to move away at the end of the battle.
Of course, you
Okay,
can overstack, and if you overstack attacking and you win, your blocks will remain 3 of them in the recently conquered area,
and
and
the
the
other,
other withdraw, not retreat, withdraw to
yeah,
their original area, so they will not suffer additional losses.
even if they move back to an area adjacent to an enemy. Okay, good. Okay, that's good to know. So you can overstack. Whew.
Attacking, attacking.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good at all. Brandon. Did you fall into my trap?
Maybe. We'll see. Now, just a question. This river here
Yes,
is separating these two areas, right?
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Making
The
sure.
river have borders.
Mhm. So,
Remember that you can place another Sturgeon Shoots and another Pioneer before moving.
we are definitely doing that. But I have a
As
limit on those, right?
yes, 3 Shoots and 1 Panzer and 3 Pioneer.
Yeah,
That's
so you still have one pioneer available and one
and
Stug.
Now, because I have activated a different color, I could move a different unit in with them, correct?
yes,
Hmm.
yes. The 4 blocks could attack.
And only problem is I might leave this open if I do that, but we'll see.
But you will go back if you took the area.
Yeah,
Of your
you will
That's
you
right.
will yeah you will withdraw, so that's fine.
the problem.
Good. Let's
Okay.
bring the battle board. Remember to split your units in two.
Yes.
Mhm.
Send to the defense battle board. Send to the defense battle board. Oops.
Yeah.
Wasn't it two and two?
Distribute the blocks as they
Yeah.
were for attacking.
Yeah. Good.
That's way. Now battle cards.
Yeah. Come on now. There we go. Just one for me for this one.
So one battle card for you. And one battle card for me.
Okay.
Oh, actually, it's not the right one. Give me a second.
Okay. Change it.
So send. Can I send back to hand? Send to discard. Return to deck. No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I move it manually. Send to battle board. Here it is.
Okay. Unmask blocks and cards. Okay. Fred, place a bunker and at the anti-tank position.
With great pleasure.
Mhm.
Anti-tank and cute little bunker. Here you are.
And then roll against Brendan Sturham-Chipson.
Yes. So 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
Yeah. Let's hope for the best. One dice. And that's not the best. So that's sad. Very sad. Okay, that didn't pay off.
Need
And
more
then
target practice.
Yeah, definitely.
resolution.
Good. So now for the resolution, so you have 4 dice to start with, plus 1
Yeah.
for superiority. So that's 5. I only have 2. So that's not great.
But
And
it's
you
in,
have 5 plus 3. So that's 8.
but it's in
Uh,
rough.
We have to add one more die for Brendan, the Sturham-Chipson support.
Yes. And does he have
Ah.
-1 for attacking a... Yeah, for attacking a fortified position. So that
8
makes
dice.
5, 9, -1, 8. Okay.
8 against 2. And you, Fred, will add 1 plus 1 to one of your dice after rolling.
Yeah. 2 doesn't sound enough. Oh, no, not enough. Oh,
One.
mon Dieu. So I give 1 hit and you give 1, 2, 3, 4 hits.
4 hits.
And
So,
my tank blocks 1.
so Brendan will take one hit, but he has armor support, so no hits. And then you, Fred, will suffer 4 hits, but you have bunkers, so 3 hits.
3 hits for me. And
The
do I
first
have...
one have to be applied to the strongest units,
Yes.
and then the rest you will be distributed as you see.
2, 3, 4. Oh, no, 3. No,
Just
yeah,
3.
sorry. Yeah.
Only 3. Your bunker protects you.
Yes, my bad. Okay, 3.
Okay. Brendan wins the combat.
So I have to retreat.
Yeah.
So I don't have that many choices. So I'm going to
No.
retreat here.
So discard the combat cards, discard the bunker and the anti-tanks. And Brendan have to withdraw one of your blocks to the original area.
Is
You
it
can to send back.
1 or is it... or
One.
could he so it's
No, no,
he
you
could
can,
not decide to... Yeah, he could not decide to have...
no,
Okay,
you cannot decide. You put whatever are over 3.
good.
The Sturgenschützen and the Pioneers, Brendan,
Yes, they need to go to the board.
be left with the blocks that remain in the conquer area or with the one that withdraw, as you please. And
Seems like
place destroyed fortifications on the Soviet fortification.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put this. So destroyed fortification. So no trench here, and I'm
Okay.
actually gonna put it also at the bottom. No trench here.
Yeah. So before Brendan continues with the 2 remaining blocks, you can play a counterattack, Fred.
And I will not play a
Okay.
counterattack.
Brendan, you have 2 blocks to act, so you can move them, attack.
Mm-hmm. Well, nothing else seems so exposed for those two. But maybe I will attack with them.
Without support.
Hmm.
Okay.
And I can put the pioneers with them. Yes,
Okay. When you play the card, you put
that's what I have to put them. So okay.
okay, you can put an armor. The only one counter
Yeah, because you already have 3 pioneers on the board.
you have
All
three
right.
pioneers put in, and you have to put a Sturmschutz. That's the only one that you have. Put
Okay.
it if you like.
There.
Okay, let's go to the battle board.
Nice. So I'm setting this. I was wondering. So this rough terrain that we're fighting in, how does it impact combat?
Sorry,
It's one less dice for the attacker.
One less dice for the attacker. Yeah.
the road terrain.
The rough
Yeah.
terrain. Yeah.
Yeah, one less die for the attacker.
Send to the battle board. Send to the defense battle board. Nice. And you play. How many cards you play?
One.
Now I'm going to also play 1.
Okay, a mask.
So I'm adding the mines now because you don't have pioneers anymore. So
No, unfortunately.
So that's why didn't want to use it for the previous battle, because I knew that you were going to attack again and I could use it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 1 anti-tank for me and some tasty minefields.
Brendan, mask your block, please.
Oh, I thought I did. Sorry. There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. So actually I have superiority on this one.
Yes. This time, yes.
So it's
First anti-tank fire.
First anti-tank fire. So I have I need to roll a 5 or 6. Let's see how it does. And it does. That's going to be a good battle. I think this one is going to be good. So 1 hit on the Stug, and then you're going to roll 2 dice.
And 3.
And
3.
So it's 2.
And then the rough cancels
2 minus
out.
1, so 1 for him.
2. No. Sorry, Fred. He's going to roll 2 for the blocks, 1 for the Stug, less 1 for the terrain, 2.
Yeah, okay. And then on my side, I roll 2 plus 1, 3.
3. It's a risky attack. 6.
So that's 1 hit each.
You have been fortunate. Oh, okay. So Brendan roll 1 hit, 5. Sorry, and Fred a 6 plus another 1 for the minefield, 2. So Fred won the combat. Brendan, you could cancel 1 hit, so I suggest canceling the 6, because if you apply a hit caused by a 6, the block will be exhausted. Will be unable to attack again during the rest of the play or until you rest.
It's only when you take a hit with a 6 that you're exhausted.
Yes, attacking. When you receive a hit with a 6 while attacking. In defense, you can suffer hits by 6 and you are not going to get exhausted.
Okay.
The battle card that Brendan played has no use because
there was no bunker.
A bunker and there was no bunker. Okay, so both cards are discarded. Fred has to lose 1 strength point, and Brendan also lose 1 strength point.
Yep.
In case of dice, you have to withdraw, to retreat, sorry, and you will lose another loss retreating.
Oh, I lose another loss retreat.
Yeah, because you're going to be adjacent to a
Yeah,
space adjacent to other units. Yeah.
you're entering in the killing zone of those adjacent blocks.
Very good.
Does the minefield also stay in the area? Yeah.
The armor, Brendan.
Oh yeah. Remember the armor? Yeah, from the your battle board. Oh, yeah. Here it is. I can bring it. Yeah. Perfect. And the minefield stays too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the minefield
Good.
stays.
Great.
So Fred could play a counterattack.
And I'm actually moderately tempted to play a counterattack. But that sounds
Fred,
like a
mask all your blocks. They are
yeah.
seen.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
And I do that too, don't I?
Some of them were still viewable from before. Yeah.
There.
Okay, so I want to do a counterattack, but that might be super stupid. It's just that I really want to do it. But I know I don't need if I would have played the counterattack if I needed to fill in a gap.
Yeah,
And I don't need to do that now, so I'm happy with the way it is for now.
the line is holding.
Yes.
It's normal. They are the first turns. The line always holds on the first turns.
Well, in the south, it didn't look good. To be honest, yeah.
Yes, the loss of Balaclava is very important.
Yeah, it happened sooner than I expected.
And you lose your best block in the process.
Yes, it was a very painful experience.
Yeah. Now, Brandon, resume your action phase. You can bombard, you can move, you can play any card.
Probably you should have bombarded before I did all this attacking. That would have been
Yes,
Yes.
But that's
That-
okay. We'll try it now.
that would have
Yeah.
been good doctrine. Yeah,
Yes,
bombard first, attack second. Yeah.
Oh well. Now where are we going to? I think we will actually bombard here.
on sixes.
On sixes only?
Yes, because you are bombarding enemy intact fortifications.
That's 4 dice, I think.
Four dice.
And is my bunker also absorbing one hit in that case?
No.
No, not for
Only
bombardment. Okay. So that's one hit.
one hit.
So I'm gonna take a step.
Yes.
Okay. And do I want to play anything else? I think I will. And it will be which is these guys.
The 50 division. The 22 Luftlande.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to the battle board.
Let's go to the battle board.
If the Axis attack often, the Soviets run out of defenses. It's very common.
Did you come from a single area? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
The whole division.
Hmm.
Battle cards.
None for me.
And I'm gonna play one. So Iron Mask. So I'm playing a bunker
An anti-tank.
and an anti-tank. Oh yeah, but that's a bit stupid to have because the anti-tank cannot do anything, right?
Mhm.
No, but if you win, it will remain there.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad idea.
And the anti-tank. Boop.
So the Germans roll 3 blocks, 3 dice, Numerical superiority 4, less 1 for Roth. Ah, no, no, it's not Roth,
Oh no,
sorry.
it's not rough. Yeah, so it still
4
stays at 4.
and the Soviet 1 plus 1 at 1. One
Just
die,
one.
1 to the result.
Yeah. So 2 hits for you, and I'm gonna absorb 1, and I'm gonna roll 1 dice, and I hope it's gonna be hit because I need a draw. Oh no, 2 plus 1, 3 doesn't work.
If you hit, you will win.
Okay, so
Okay.
two
No, no,
hits.
because 1 is absorbed by the bunker. 1 is prevented by the bunker.
Yeah, but it still gives me 1 hit,
Yes, 1 hit.
and I give him none, so he still wins the fight.
Yes,
Yeah.
he won.
So I'm gonna take
A risky attack that happens to success.
paid off.
Congratulations, Brendan.
It was
did
much better
pay off.
here than it was over there.
Yes.
And if I so yeah, if I don't want to take a step loss, I have to retreat here. If I retreat it here, I would take an additional step loss.
Yes, I
Do I
think
have
Brendan is driving you to the sea.
yeah any penalty from retreating across the river or no? Okay,
No.
good. Then I will send this to the discard and delete the bunker and the anti-tank.
So you retreat and suffer the loss?
No, if I retreat here, oh yeah, I'm adjacent to them. Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
You have
So actually,
flanking
so then I will retreat here. Actually,
in that way.
that's better. Good. But then I think that I will interrupt you here. I will interrupt.
Oh, but I was having such a good turn.
I will interrupt you here and do
Counterattack.
counterattack. And I'm going to activate the 95th Division. I'm gonna mask stuff, and this guy is going to go here, and this guy is going to go here. And I'm gonna abandon that position, which doesn't sound like, it doesn't look like a really good place to be in. And I'm gonna add the no trench marker here.
You're right.
Good. And that's my counterattack. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm gonna draw back to all my hand, so I have a benefit from doing actions during Brendan's turn.
Yes. It's a player tip. A good player tip.
Good. So that's it for me. Brendan, you can resume your turn.
Yes.
Just as I was about to blow them into oblivion.
Yes. That's what I was thinking that we were going to do. Good.
And that is the purple guys, which will be...
Whew. I'm happy I left. Oh, and I'm going to add a no trench marker here to indicate that you blew up those trenches here.
And I can only stack 3.
Yes, only 3.
So, and that's it for me.
Good. So that's the end of your turn?
Yes.
Then we draw back to our full hand.
Full hand.
Not do anything. Is there any way for me, Francisco, to replenish my blocks, or once they take a step loss, it's an awful attrition battle. It makes me very sad.
It's an awful attrition battle. You're right.
Good. So then it's back to me. And when do I decide when to get my reinforcement?
No. Right now, at the beginning of your turn, from this turn onward, you roll 1 die. When a 1 or 2 arrive the first brigade.
Okay. So then I will roll 1 die.
Roll 1 die.
And I roll the 3, so nothing.
Nothing. Next turn again. So they enter.
I'm happy I asked. Very nice.
Cadets and service troops in Sevastopol to mobilize.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this...
super heavy artillery.
Yes. So that's the Soviet battery. So I think that what I'm going to do, I'm a bit worried about this big stack here. So I'm going to fire with him. It's 2 stacks away, so that's 2 spaces away, so that's good.
Yes.
Because it's up to 3. And what I'm going to do is roll 2 dice, and I'm going to touch on a 5 or a 6.
Yes.
So 2 dice, please. 2 sixes. No. There's still 1 hit. So 1 hit to something here.
Determine which block receive the hit.
So, yeah, and Brendan decides?
No, randomly.
Randomly. Okay.
The air attack and bombardment hits are applied randomly.
Okay, so should I make us? Oh no, yeah, but I'll let you reduce 1 randomly, Brendan.
I did. They all
you
have the
random-
same.
You're randomizing your brain.
It is
So I'm going to send this to the Discord. So that's this. It's not exactly what I expected, but I think it's good enough. And now I'm thinking about life. How is life? Life is not great. Is there a place where I could give you some problems? That's the question. So I'm a bit worried about this.
yes, it's a very, very weak unit.
Yeah. I think that I'm going to play an assault card to activate the 107th Division. And, well, it's actually only 1 block, so this block is going to go here. Send to the Discord. Then I'm going to do, if you don't interrupt.
Brandon, you remember you could use your airstrikes card.
Ah, that's right. Why? We haven't seen that, so let's do that.
Yes.
You have to choose. You could attack the block that's moving with 3 dice. Remember, they are moving through entrenchment, so only hits on 6. Or put a air interdiction marker that allow any block that Soviet move inside this area to be attacked by only 1 die, but on a 5 or 6. And the interdiction marking remains on map till you move it. You have to choose.
I feel like 3 dice is better.
Okay. Axis.
3 dice. And touch you hit on a 6. Yes. Perfect. So you can discard this. I'm going to play another assault card, and this time I'm going to use it on the 345th. This is going to go here. Do you want to play an air assault?
No, that's okay. Too cloudy.
And this one is going to go here, and that would be the end for me. And now, do I want to do another assault? I think my position in the north is a bit too risky, so I think I'm going to stop. Could I play an assault card and not use it? Or can I discard cards at the end of my segment?
You can play card and move or do nothing and discard.
And then I'm going to do
a card to move, and then you have to move at least 1 block.
Okay, so then I'm actually going to discard some cards at the end of my segment, and that would be the end of my turn. I would just discard 2 cards. No, I cannot?
No, you can't. You can't.
You can't. Okay.
You have to choose act and play cards, or do not act and discard at the beginning of the action phase.
At the beginning of my action phase. Okay.
If you don't act, you rest, and then you can recover the assets, put them at full strength, and also you will recover the exhausted blocks you have.
Okay, so what I will do is actually I'm going to play one other assault card for the 25th division, and what I'm going to do is going to be a bit weird, but this block is going to go here, and this block is going to go here. This I'm allowed, right?
Yes.
And then I'm going to discard and return this to my hand. And that will be the end of my turn.
Okay. So
great. I will replenish my hand.
Both.
Yes.
Brendan, you have to draw 1.
And we'll go to round 3, 13th and 15th of June. And I think we're going to stop the teach and play
And
here.
from this turn onward, the Axis player can spend victory points to add blocks, reinforcing blocks.
Yeah. So
Mm.
as of now, yeah, you're going to be able to decrease, and it's one for one block.
No, is one for the first two blocks, the Romanians, the Romanian
Ah,
Mont,
yeah,
two VP for the 46th division, the
yeah.
three following blocks, and another VP for the last block, an independent block.
Okay, good, great. But I think that's so that concludes the teach part of the game. And before we finish, I'm gonna maybe remove the game from the stream. I just wanted to maybe have like some impressions from you, Brandon. So I don't know, have you played some block games before?
The only block game that I can think that I've played, Triumph and Tragedy. So I played a little bit of that,
Mm.
and so this was kind of new to me. And but the rules are very simple, and I feel like it plays very fast. And I mean, it's just you take an action, you move your units, and then you resolve the battle. And the battle step is quite simple. And I really liked it actually. I'm sad we're finishing.
So actually, what I suggest is probably we're gonna make a save, and we can probably keep up if we find sometimes during the weekend, because our time difference is not that large, so we could keep on that fight. Because I think there is one thing that we didn't necessarily see within those first two rounds is the dynamic of the exhaust blocks
Mhm.
and passing to actually refreshing them. Because for now you still have a lot of momentum, but at some point you're going to be more and more exhausted, and you're going to have to trade time for momentum, and you get tired. And I think that's a thing that we saw during a demo a couple of years ago, but that we couldn't see here because of time. But you'd really have this dynamic that comes on top of it that I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But also the scale is very different. So the only block game that you played before was Triumph and Tragedy. That is a grand strategic.
Mm.
I would say this one is very like operational, but very at this very pretty tight scale. You're on a siege level, and yeah, I was wondering how you felt about the decisions that you had, the types of decision that you have to make, how to find a way into the defense. How did that feel?
I mean, it's really because you don't know. That's the fun part, right? Is you don't know what you're facing. So you could have a fourth strength block that or a three strength or two strength that I'm attacking, but with it's a matter of deciding how many you want to commit to that and if you're going to overstretch or not. And looking back, I feel like I could have done a little bit more in the north to start. That it's actually a little more strong than the south, but that victory point one that I get right at the start was seemed like a good idea, but then I couldn't quite follow it up. But I think going forward, the north is going to be a little more advantageous to me.
Yeah, and I think definitely in the north you have a lot of options, but even because you have a lot of different openings and you have quite a lot of troops, so I would be curious to see what happens after that. I was a bit disappointed that you didn't push more in the south because I prepared like a small pocket for you that I wanted you to feel cozy in and to see what happens. But I guess we'll maybe see in the rest of the game. If we keep on playing, I think I will take some screenshots once in a while and post them on Twitter for people to see how the game unfolded. But maybe I had one question for you, Francisco, because we played on Vassal, and there is the Vassal aspect to it. We have to move stuff around, and it's not always practical. I felt like, and I just wanted to have your opinion, that the game plays a lot faster physically than on Vassal. Is it your impression too, based on playtests?
Yes, yes, yes. The game plays more faster on physical because given the setting of the different games, some play faster on basal and some play faster on physical. And this game is very, very fast on physical. At most, play can last 3 hours or so, even in the first place.
So 3 hours for a first game, okay? Because I was wondering, on average, how what length did you see? So 3 hours for a full game, and do most of the game go through the final turn? So really up to mid July,
No,
or
no, till the end, because the game is a very near raw thing, que
Hmm,
diría, what we say, and it's very, very difficult for the Germans to win before the end, and the Soviets cannot win automatically. They have
yeah,
to resist till the end.
Yeah, but you could have a German player that gives up if he's on the 6th of July and realize that he's at -5 or 6 points. I guess it can be really hard. Yeah.
Common mistake for on the part of the German or of the Axis player is to try to penetrate before grinding the Soviets. Before there are a lot of Soviets, and the Soviets have a really great combat power. So if the Germans insert one division or two divisions deep inside Soviet territory, many times they are cut off and destroyed,
Yeah.
because another feature that has not been depicted in the play is that you cannot retreat from combat if you don't have any adjacent area controlled by you. If you
Okay.
are surrounded and you lose, you are destroyed. Everyone.
Yeah, this is where being cut off comes into play. So you don't have any supplies, but from your position, you can lose a lot of blocks. And look, okay, that's really interesting. And what you say is probably the split in terms of wins for the Germans and the Soviets based on your
More or
unit list.
less, it's very balanced. The problem is the Axis players have to make up a proper strategy and get the playing tips, because it's harder to learn how to win with the Axis than the Soviets, because the Soviets have to defend, so it's easier to defend.
But I would like to thank you again, Francisco, for taking the time to teach Brandon and I the game. I must say that I'm looking forward to playing physically. I would probably play in at the London club here, because I think it's it has an amazing table presence, and it looks like it's a fast playing game in the physical part. So I will post some updates on Twitter about this. So pretty excited about all that. Brendan, thanks for taking the time on your Sunday to play the game. I'm happy that you enjoyed it. And as I said, we can follow up and find some time to actually keep on playing and see how the games unfold, and give you an update, Francisco, on how it all finished. But
Yeah.
thanks to the both of you. It was great having you, Francisco. I hope that you'll be back for future games, whether as self-publishing or maybe future network games. We'll see. But yeah, there is a lot of games that you're publishing that I think are interesting, and I would like to feature that we talked at the beginning. But we can catch up on this. So I would
Send
say
me your address and I send you some games.
yes. I always say yes to that. So that's great. Excellent. But thank you very much to the two of you. It was extremely fun. Have a great day, and see you soon.
Thank you.
See